Hello? 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 Bleep blop. Hello? How's it going? What's up, what's up? We are continuing Emblem. You know what's funny? I was actually thinking about this, and I think the pace at which we're going is, like, good. It's nice. But in the first half of the, like, of the Fire Emblem VOD compressing, of the Fire Emblem VOD mating pressening, like, there were less streams to, like, say, this is the number of this stream, and then it started, and then I put, like, at the start, like, the hello, because I think that's a good way to split up the information, to be like, oh, this is, like, the start of the next section, where they do the next chapter or something, because usually there'll be, like, a hello of some kind or something. But at the slower pace that we're doing now, I don't think I'm gonna put that every time. Because that's obnoxious. Not that it's obnoxious, it's just there'd be way too many. So, I don't think I'm gonna do that for the second half. If I do a second half, I'm not working on it yet. Because it was a lot. I think I got a good rhythm for, you know, compressing the information, editing the battles, etc. Like, in the second half. It was maybe a little less in the first half. Which I redid the first half, like, first set of them a lot more times. You know, because they used to be longer, and then I would cut them down, and then I would work on the next part. Then I would, like, get a better sense for how I want to pace the thing in the next part, and then I would go back, I'd redo the first one. I would cut more parts out of it. So the first few fights were, like, reiterated a number of times. It would be a bit slow pace if it was for the entire playthrough IMO, but since it's only the last 1/4 of the game, it works well enough. Yeah, for this section. I don't know. I guess part of what I'm thinking is that, like, I could play for, like, 10 hours if I wanted to. Maybe. But I just want to not be doing that all the time. Like, I'm down to do that when it's kind of newer and I'm excited about the game. Not to say that I'm not currently excited. I am excited. Just that, like, that feels like a we're off to the races kind of pace rather than a what's comfortable. Like, this is comfortable. This is more of the comfortable pace. Also, so you're okay-ish. That's fair, Berg. That's totally fair. Okay-ish is totally fair. You know what's actually funny about that is, first of all, I'm doing great. I'm doing well currently. I'm in like the slope down phase of doing, like, projects and stuff, where, like, it's like a cycle, right? So the cycle is that, like, you kind of need to pick up speed to start doing a project, then, like, you have the speed to do that project, and then you're working on it pretty vigorously for, like, a few days, a week, etc. Which my, like, last project, which is currently not being handled by me at all anymore, is, like, being handled. So, like, we were on the top of the slope, we finished that thing, and now we're on the bottom half of the cycle, where I'm, like, I'm not doing anything right now, and it's pretty chill, and, like, I'm trying to think of the next thing that I want to do, but also there's a resistance to wanting to do anything else, because I'm like, man, I'm tired, like, I don't... I just finished doing another thing, I'm exhausted, I don't want to start another thing. However, you know, that's not really how that works. So I should probably be starting something else sometime soon. There's a couple of different things that I thought of working on. I actually wanted to like explore more into animating in Live 2D because I've done rigging. Like I've done rigging for models and stuff. And then I've done so I wanted to look more into like animations. So like the Live 2D animations you would see in like a gacha game, for example. Because I think those are cool, and I think there's a lot of context to be using those in. The one I was actually thinking was like, oh, I wonder if you could just do like an entire animation in Live 2D. And the answer is yes, like you can. The part of the previews on the website, I think, like have animations just done in Live 2D. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you could just like do that. They look a little weird because they're all like interpolated stuff. Like all of Live 2D is done because it's like 3D animating where everything needs to be done through like keyframing and interpolation. Jesus. Like you are not drawing each hand frame, you are setting the keyframes for the model that has rigging. But when I realized that, I was like, oh, that's really cool because like that means, you know, I could theoretically be a 3D animator. I guess that's one of them. But it was more that like the principles of 3D animating should apply to a well-rigged Live 2D thing. It's just the difference is that in a 3D animation, you would have one model. I think this is how it works. I'm not a 3D animator. But my understanding is that you'd have one 3D model, you put it in like a scene, and then you just animate that model around the scene, right? Whereas in Live 2D, you would need to make multiple drawings that go into different scenes that you would then animate in the same way you would animate a 3D model. So you can't use one model to animate everything, because that's like the benefit of a 3D model. But you could like draw what you would need for that scene and then animate everything, and then you would draw what you need for the next scene and animate everything. Whereas like true frame by frame would, even though the frames are very similar, I think, again, I'm not a 2D animator either, technically. My understanding is that you would still do some frame by frame for particular shots. Whereas for Live 2D, you just like would try not doing that, I guess. So, yeah. So I think that's a useful skill to explore into, and I wanted to like do some experiments with that. But I think for video stuff, I was like, I haven't done a Design the Spire in a really long time, so I feel bad, and I feel like I want to make a video of one of those things. I actually honestly wonder if instead of like doing Design the Spire on stream more, if I want to spend that time editing down all the previous Design the Spires to the things that I actually feel like are valuable information that I discuss. And then like by the time I make it through the backlog of like whatever 3 months, I don't know how long it was, 3 months of looking through like modded characters, if then I will start again making more of them. This is partially taking inspiration from Jorbs took a break from Slay the Spire, I think for a year, but still had like YouTube runs content and stuff, because like he would take the runs that he did and then put them on YouTube, which if he has done like collectively hundreds of runs or something, then he could just slowly release those over time and then not need to live stream more of that content. Which for the record, I don't actively watch Jorbs, but there was a point in time where I was like, oh, this is like, seems like an interesting and reasonable human being. But I don't actively watch him right now. Okay, so entire playthrough. Yeah, so we already read that one. There's a reason for it. We had a teeny bit of a house fire July 5th, shortly after midnight, but everyone's okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. Wow, that's crazy. I'm glad you're safe. Yeah, no, the house fires are not. That's no joke. That's not a prank. So it's good that you're good. Like, you know what actually fucked me up was actually you know, you would think of a fire and be like, okay, well, if you lose your house, like, that's really bad, of course, right? But it didn't, like, occur to me that the stuff in your house, for example, we had a house fire. That's good. Oh my god. So it didn't occur to me, but until I don't remember where I remembered this or found this or whatever. So let's assume that your house is burning, right? And then, like, you know, there are firefighters that put out the fire, and then, like, the structure of the house is still, like, there. You know what I mean? The thing is, like, the smoke, like, particles, my understanding is that the smoke particles that are, like, on the things in the house, so, like, even if, like, your chair didn't burn down, for example, you would still need to replace it. Because of, like, how dangerous this, like, smoke is. And you would have to, like, replace, you know, like, your clothes and stuff. The smoke is the real issue, yes. Exactly, and I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about that before. Like, I just assumed, oh, it'd be really bad if your house burned down, like, obviously. But it's actually, like, when the smoke gets on things, like, you have to replace those things. Which sucks. That fucking sucks. Because it's sort of the... I would say it's kind of like the in-between of... So, like, let's assume you had something and you completely lost it. It's like, well, you don't have it anymore. It's gone. Like, you can say it's gone, right? But when you have something that's kind of, like, half there, where it's like, okay, well, I don't... Like, this is one of my favorite shirts. I don't want to have to throw it out. It's not burned down. It's not literally ash. You know what I mean? It's still there. It's still in front of me. I can still hold it. Right? But then you're like, no, but I have to get rid of it. Because, like, we know that the smoke is the problem, and then I don't know if there are services or ways to clean, get rid of, etc. Like, I actually don't know. But my point is, when it's kind of, like, not exactly 100%, it's like, man, like, I don't want to have to throw it out kind of thing. Some relatives threw out recently used fireworks in our garbage can on the side of our house. Not ideal. Interesting. We will have cleaning done for things, some. True. Okay. Well, it's good that like, is available. I assume that would be the case. Like, that makes sense. Yeah, for some things. Like, that makes sense to me. I just didn't, I wasn't sure to what degree, like, things can be cleaned. Makes sense, but considering the current pace is 4 to 8 chapters a month, it'd take at least 3 months, probably about 5 due to paralogs, which is quite a lot of time. 4 to 8 chapters a month? Yeah, because, like, 1 to 2 chapters every week. So anywhere between 4 to 8. Yeah, but the other thing, too, is that I like to think that I'm also removing a lot of the like, grindy or boring content. Because, for example, like, doing the battles just to... Like, doing the battles just to... like, raise people's stats and stuff, right? So all of my students who I'm, like, using are, like, around level 44. Like, all the people who attack are around level 44. My dancer is insanely overpowered. Annette is a rally bot, so it doesn't matter. But everyone's around level 44. I think this shit is boring. And it's just like a couple of hours of me, like, trying to last hit with Hilda. The reason why Hilda's not level 44 is because she kept fucking missing. In case you were wondering. It's literally because, like, she just, like, couldn't hit things. So I'm, like, pissed off. Welcome, Rants. Welcome, Panda. But did you miss supports? No. I was just yapping about being in the lull state between doing projects and trying to choose a new project to do, which is always upsetting to me. You can go above level 30. I thought that was the cap. Never had anyone above level 45, which was Dimitri after he basically soloed the last map. Fair. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like... I mean... I'm just having people do stuff, right? Like, I don't... like, I don't... Once again, I don't think I'm grinding specifically. I'm just... There are battles I am allowed to do, and I'm doing them. Like, I'm not specifically... Like, I'm not rotating an experience gem around people who are last hitting. You know what I mean? And I'm not having, like... I'm not, like, sandbagging the last hits to be beside Byleth for each of them, right? Like, I'm not super optimizing the grinding. I'm literally just going into a battle map and, like, trying to give last hits to Hilda, and she misses. So, I don't know. I may have had someone reach level 60 once, don't know. On low enough difficulties, you can do certain battles infinite times. I see. Okay. July 4th was one of the best ever. Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. I don't mean to be, like... I don't know if the term is, like, shallow. I don't... Like, what is the... I don't know what the term is. But I would definitely say that the most recent 4th of July is one of the best 4th of Julys I've ever had, because Sard donated $200. That was bizarre. I have no idea, like, why? That still blows my mind. Like, what? Like, thank you. That's incredibly useful and helpful to me as a content creator. But it feels weird to reiterate out loud, I guess. It's just like, it felt very random to me. Like, I understand that it is like a celebration time for Americans. That is totally fair, right? And I'm like willing to say, hey, you're celebrating this thing, that's awesome, I'm happy for you. You know, me, who is clearly, definitely a red-blooded American who likes guns, 100%. So it's like, that's great. I'm happy you are all celebrating and having a good time. But my logical conclusion is not that means, hey, have $200. That is not where I think that would go. So I was very, very appreciative of that, is all I'm saying. The reason why it's in my brain, by the way, is because it's the last thing in my mini feed. Like in Streamlabs. It's like, it's just like right there. Literally right there. So, yeah. You can go up level 50, but unless you're only using one unit or you're on normal mode grinding, you won't reach max level. Fair. Personally, I like the high level cap. It doesn't punish you for using only a couple of units. Yeah, I think that's fine, right? I don't know if they specifically considered whether or not you would have 3 to some number of units. Like, I wonder how they looked at the EXP curve for that. Because the thing is, you get diminishing returns when you are above level for a particular thing, which is why, for the record, why Ingrid is so high level, because my understanding is when you KO or you kill a unit, you get a certain amount of XP. But depending on your level in relation to that thing, you will get different levels of XP. Which I don't know if this... I think this relates to yourself. Okay. Multiplies this unit's and adjacent allies' experience by 1.2. Yeah, so if I'm not using Professor's Guidance on people like all the time, and Byleth is getting Professor's Guidance on himself, that means that Byleth will end up a few levels higher than everyone else, just like because of the modifier. Whereas, like trying to level someone past level 44 is going to be very difficult when you KO someone. However, my understanding is that dancers just get a set amount of XP whenever they dance. Depending on, I guess, what level they are. or what level the map is. Like, I don't know, but it does not seem like their XP is mitigated for being on a level, like a map with a particular level, because otherwise Ingrid wouldn't be level 51. She's not even holding an experience gem. Like, she just is level 51. Theoretically, if a unit was taking one action per turn to either attack or KO a unit, you would assume that that would be equivalent to the dancer. You would actually, I would argue, assume that someone who gets danced on and attacks, like, kills 2 units a turn would end up at a higher level than the dancer, because the dancer's only taking 1 action per turn. But that's not how it worked. The dancer just ended up being level 51. So anyways, that's just funny to me. That's all. Better than Fire Emblem 1 stat cap of 20 for all stats? I have no idea what that would mean. Speaks English equals American. Absolutely. Sorry, the reason why I'm so coy about that and weird about that, which maybe, like, I don't have to be. I mean, there's the general generic thing where it's like, well, I could be American and I'm not telling you because I think it's funny. You know, that, like, that's just funny. Right? If you assume most of the things about my character, even if I was American, like, most of the things that I say would imply that I could very easily just, like, not act very American because I think it's funny. Right? Yeah, so, like, general privacy concerns, but because there was one time where I implied that I wasn't, and then that viewer was like, wait, I thought you were American, and then they, like, never showed up ever again. Which, to be fair, you know, I think cultivating an audience that is specifically watching you because you are, like, American, or specifically because you are from a particular place, like, I kind of, like, fundamentally disagree with that. You know what I mean? I'm not a very... Well, this is how you would know that I'm not American. I'm not a very patriotic person, regardless of place. Like, it doesn't matter where, I just don't... I think that there's a lot of harm to be done by being overly patriotic. That doesn't mean to say that there's, like... That doesn't mean to say there aren't benefits, and that doesn't mean to say that there's, like... that people who feel a sense of patriotism are inherently bad. Because I think there is value to it, and I think that the people who find value in something and, like, it is meaningful to them, that, like, I'm willing to respect how they interact with the world. There's no problem with that. I'm just saying that I personally am not. Which is why I am dumbfounded if someone would tell me, well, I am watching you or not watching you because you are from a particular place. Like, I don't want that to be the reason you're watching me. Like, I would rather not. I don't want the contingency of if you're supporting me to be if I'm from a particular place. That is not... I would really not like to do that. Okay, out of curiosity, I looked it up and found a video of Mercedes reaching level 99 or so. Not today, but sometime a couple years ago. That's fair. The thickest Mercedes ever. City Houses is celebrating its 5th anniversary this month. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I feel like we need to get 4 houses, you know what I mean? The next Fire Emblem needs to be 4 houses, and it's the sequel to 3 houses. Then we'll have Fire Emblem 5 houses. It's gonna be... Whoa, that's crazy. I don't think he left because you were American. I think he left because he saw your taste in women. Damn. Damn, dude. I mean, you know, that's fair. Make the game spread itself even more thin. Let's go! Yeah. I mean, I think 2 or 3 storylines is okay. It's a lot of work, though. It's definitely a lot of work. Ugh. I feel crushed by the by the by the crippling weight of needing to do things and then having questionable outcomes. And then I think about something like as big as a video game, and then it's like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna spend like 5 years developing 3 houses or something. I don't know how long it took, but I'm gonna spend a bunch of time developing this game, and then it's like the game was spread thin. How dare you? And I'm like, ah, pain. It's like, we're gonna do 4 storylines this time, and we're gonna try really hard with all of them, and it's like 2 of the storylines sucked. You suck. Oh, man. If 3 houses was just Black Eagles and Blue Lions, with some of the Golden Deer endgame stuff mixed in, that'd be better, IMO. Yeah, I think that's possible. I kind of wonder if Golden Deer was stapled on later. Just to be like, think about it this way. So the title, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, the title was probably one of the last things that was written about the game. Like, they don't start with the title. Like, game working in progress, or like Fire Emblem work in progress, Fire Emblem tentative title, is very likely how they approached it. Because, I don't know about, like, maybe it's just me projecting my own experiences, but like, my teams just don't have a name for shit until later. Yeah, they have code names during development. Because it's like, I don't want to, like, it doesn't matter. So the point is, what I'm saying is that they maybe didn't lock in having 3 houses until later. Like, I could totally see the game being developed as, like, Black Eagles and Blue Lions, like, for a bunch of development. And then later on, they were like, I feel like we need, you know, another part of the story, and we kind of want to wrap up this thing with the, like, the true bad guys and stuff. So we're gonna include Golden Deer. Right? So I wonder about that. Especially since that would allow them to flesh out Black Eagles a lot more, since that one was rushed. Which is why it got cut short. Once again, I don't know if I can confirm that. I think we talked about this last time, and I was like, I don't know if that's true. But I'd be willing to admit that there are a lot of solutions that would give you more content as a Black Eagle player, which I think would be valuable. I just can't confirm if they cited rushed development time specifically for the Black Eagles route. Supposedly, Engage was worked on at the same time as this one. A bit hard to believe, except for the stories, I guess. Oh, that's interesting. That's bizarre. I would be very surprised if they were working on Engage and 3 Houses at the same time, but I guess so. That kind of makes sense. It's just the games feel so different. So, I do know this game is said to have rush development similar to Fallout New Vegas. Lots of content was cut to the time. Oh, that is... Okay. Alright, so if they did specifically say that, then that's interesting. Okay. There are 2 people corroborating that there was rush development. That kind of sucks. That does suck. Because I think that this game is pretty good, so... Yeah. Golden Deer were last. That would be odd since Hilda is the only retainer with support with members from other houses. I don't know if I understand the line of logic. That would be odd since Hilda... So, Hilda is the only retainer with support with members from other houses. So... Be fair, she's the only retainer who's recruitable. Yeah, it's like the other retainers don't have support with the other house members because they're not recruitable. I mean, wouldn't that support the argument then? Because, like, you could say that they originally intended for the retainers to not be recruitable, and then they added Golden Deer, and then they were like, yeah, you can, like, recruit Hilda, it's okay. And then, like, they wrote and made supports for Hilda. Right? So they added her later and made her the most flexible. That's kind of common TBH, which sucks, of course, but there's always going to be material left out or cut for time. Yeah, I agree. So here's the interesting thing is that, like, I think cutting things is actually okay, right? Like, I think cutting things and not including the most amount of everything possible is actually a good thing, for the purposes of making a more polished product. So I know that the stipulation here is that it was cut due to time reasons, but like, let's say you're given like 3 years to complete a thing, right? And then you're like, well, we're going to produce like these things in 3 years, right? The question is sort of like, okay, well, if you made it 3.5 years or 4 years, like, is it going to be that much better than what you make at the time? Like, for me, there's like a concept of like perfect imperfection, where like, given the constraints of whatever was required for the project at the time, that those constraints make the game better in the things that people choose to cut or not include. So an example of this, if I were to make this argument, once again, like, I don't think this is the opinion of other people, which is okay. But let's assume for a second that, like, it's very interesting that Crimson Flower is short in, like, a weird way, because, like, that kind of makes sense. Like, it kind of makes sense that there would be, like, this short and abrupt ending to that route as a concept. So you could say that someone needing to make the executive decision because they don't have time to develop the entire thing will say that this is acceptable, and then that's the way they're going to proceed with it, which kind of makes it, like, weird and imperfect in an interesting way. Right? Which is why I don't generally agree with the idea that, like, there must be, everything needs to be 100% fleshed out and the most perfect that it can be, because my understanding of perfection as a creative person is that, like, everything can always be more perfect all the time. So no matter, like, when I was a practicing musician, no matter how many days, weeks, minutes, levels of concentration, like, ways of going over the piece and whatever, no matter how much effort I put in, it could never be perfect. You could never, always, with 100% certainty, always play the piece perfectly, all the time, with all of the dynamics and, like, hand motions, wrist motions, etc., timbre, and the way that you press the key, the degree of, like, sustain pedal you're holding down, because there's different levels of sustain pedal, by the way. You can half hold the sustain pedal, or you can fully hold the sustain pedal. They're different. Like, you just simply cannot produce a performance that is perfect. It's literally impossible. So my understanding is that it's the same with, like, other creative endeavors. So if you're, like, working on a game, there's part of it where you need to accept that it is not going to be perfect, and that there isn't going to, like, be every single thing that you want to put into it. And not focusing on putting every single possible thing into it all the time means that you make something that is more perfect by not trying to be perfect. Because I suppose because, like, the imperfect result is something that is observable and valuable. And also, I suppose that perfection has never been created, in my opinion. But yeah, I guess my observation is just that, like, the critical mind will, like, always find a reason to push the envelope. So you have to, like, rein it in. Because, like, you could, like, listen to your brainworms and just, like, pursue it forever. I'm just saying that, like, I don't think it exists. And you should stop listening to it. It's my experience. But yeah, it's still a great game, but yeah, and honestly, Black Eagle route, still my second favorite route. It's definitely fun, just a little short. Yeah. And I think the yearning for wanting more is also, like, completely acceptable. Which is why, like, the last time we talked about this, I was like, no, I totally understand, and it's, like, 100% fair to be like, but I wanted more gameplay, or, like, the story feels incomplete. Like, I think that that's also valid. It's just, like, interesting to, for me, it's interesting to consider the meta context of, like, how the thing was made and like what that means for what's in front of you, right? Because I mean, I guess as someone who goes through a creative process, when I think of someone else going through that process and that they have made particular decisions to like end up at a particular place, that's interesting to me because I can like infer what the values of that person are, right? Not like with certainty, but that I can like think about it a little bit, right? And like that is like a point of relatability to that person. As long as cutting is done as part of refinement, as opposed to them not having enough time for refinement. Yeah. So I guess my argument was that, so you can cut for refinement, that is okay. That's definitely 100% okay. Cutting because of lack of time is arguably not okay, and I think we can all agree we want more content of a thing that we like. I think that's fair to want that. But I think there's like the third bucket, which is that you will ultimately need to cut for time. You will always need to cut for time in any creative endeavor. I think the saying is like, you have to be done eventually, right? Like you can't just like keep redoing forever because it's not going to improve it, right? You could say that there's what's the term? It's not like a lack of gains. It's a diminishing returns. You could say it's diminishing returns, but I actually don't even think it's diminishing returns. I think it's like not even moving forward. I think that there's like a refinement process if you had infinite time where it's like not even improving it. It's just like staying the same and it's going to be worse in different ways, right? So I think the third bucket is that considering the fact that you will need to have a time constraint, what are the things you are willing to cut? And then that makes its own interest, especially when you're crunched for time. Needing to make creative decisions in that context, I think, is actually very interesting. Definitely just some things they cut and stated it was due to time restraints hurt. Yeah, and I understand and agree with that. Which is why the first time we had this discussion, I was like, yeah, I mean, like, that shit sucks. And I think that there could have been a number of solutions to it. Worse is Rhea, who has tea time and everything, isn't playable, which sucks so bad. Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, not having a marriage scene with Rhea, literally the worst. That's true, you want to present a coherent experience, so removing stuff that doesn't fit is important, and I agree. How much more time would make an actual difference for something this size, for example? Yeah, it's like, it's a little unclear to me, so. Also, hi, Rav. I don't actually know if I said hi. My apologies. Cuts to this game were fine since it's complete enough. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach having the third act of its story cut, for example, is a different story. Yeah, totally agree, exactly. So if it's like, you know, if it feels like the story is like completely not working anymore, which, to be fair, the argument for something like Black Eagles is that, like, yeah, it's literally, it's on the same degree of like the third act was cut, basically. So I think that that's fair to care about or understand. Like, I think that's fair. Even though I, like, maybe don't personally agree with it 100%. But I also haven't really, like, played the Red, so, you know, there's that too. I played part of it, and then I got stuck because Maddening is difficult. What do you mean we're all perfect in our way, and therefore our performance is perfect in one way or another? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the concept of perfection is valuable as a definition. Just in general. Yeah, I guess the thing that I'm thinking is that, okay, so I get that this is a meme. I know that you, like, did the tongue out emoji and everything, but, like, hear me out. Hear me out, right? So, the idea of saying we're all perfect in our own way implies that there is an importance on perfection. Because you're saying, well, it's okay because we're all perfect in our own way, right? It's not saying you don't have to be perfect to be valuable, right? And perhaps it's trying to get at the same idea or concept, but, like, literally for me, I don't think perfection is valuable. Like, I actually just don't think it is valuable. At all. It literally isn't. The concept is not valuable. The concept is valuable in acknowledging that it is not valuable. That is why perfection is valuable. Is to realize that it's stupid. That's my opinion on perfection. Perfect is the enemy of good, or so they say. Yeah, something like that. Pac-Man World 3 is one of my favorite games, despite it having suffered the most in its whole trilogy. Why can't I speak today? My tongue just isn't working. Sorry, guys. I was just, like, sucking too much dick last night. My bad. My bad, guys. My tongue just not working. The most in its whole trilogy, and the general discontent with it. The more you add to something also has a high possibility of detracting to your original vision, like the first story I ever completed. Shit was a mess, so many concepts all mixed together to make the smelliest of turds. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, there's certainly a scale of... There's a scale of performance as far as conciseness is concerned. More does not equal better. Yeah, more does not equal better. I just thought I would say it again for the people who weren't looking at the screen. So I'll say it a third time. More doesn't equal better. And I'm gonna smile at you, and then you're gonna smile back. And yeah, that's... Okay, anyways. Smile back. Say it back. Say it back. More isn't better. Say it back now. There's the marriage scene, just not playable. Oh, I see. Okay. He can bang her at least. Fair. Perfection is valuable, but only in few selected fields, to be honest. Like safety measures, you want to be close to perfection. I think that the concept of safety protocols are an acknowledgement that people cannot be perfect. Maybe. Or like part of... Yeah, so I think following something to the letter so that like you don't have chemical reactions that literally kill people, sure. That's what guidelines are for, but again, think about the execution. Is that like we have safety nets for those kinds of things. Like we have emergency protocols for if things go wrong, and multiple layers of like protection for if things go wrong. And again, I think that's an acknowledgement of the fact that we can set as many rules as we want to like have some kind of logical telos for like how important those rules are. But the reality is that humans will never be perfect. And because we know that, we can have, like, we need to set layers of protection for people who are, like, not perfect. Which is literally also, like, the entire development of, user experience design, right? Is, like, an acknowledgement of the fact that, like, humans just, like, literally can't perform things perfectly. So... like, the interfaces that we make for people have to compensate for how imperfect people are. Right? More doesn't equal better. Say that about your height. Okay. Did it. You ever tasted hydrochloric acid? I think safety measures are pretty swell to have. I don't know if I understand the context, but yes, obviously we have logic and reason for a purpose. I think the general safety measures for people is smart. Yeah, have we... Oh my god, we literally yapped for like 45 minutes. cool. It doesn't taste very good. I checked. That's the context. Oh, God. Just so you know, chat, that view was worth it. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, what if we made the timeout longer? Because more is better for you, isn't it? More is better. More height is better. Yeah, what about more ban duration, huh? You know what's really fun? I wish I could, like... I wish I could ban someone for 30 days and then unban them. Just so that I could send a message. Just so that I could be like, you're banned for 30 days, get fucked. But, you cannot, so... Or at least I'm pretty sure you can. And I don't want to test to find out, because that means I will have banned someone for 30 days. On Twitch you can, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you, excuse me, I'm pretty sure you can. On Twitch. Yeah. Alright, are we prepared to watch cutscenes for the next multiple hours? I'm excited to watch cutscenes for the next multiple hours. As mentioned before, or in the last few times we've been doing this, nothing has really changed about anybody. Like, I haven't changed their builds, they're just higher level now. I like, literally haven't changed anything, so... This shit kills me every time. This is not... This has been for multiple months, right? Like, this has been for, like, actually for multiple months. I need to go back and check. How many times has there just been an NPC just stuck here? Has it been forever? Because this is great. God damn it. Okay. It was very diluted. Still a very noticeable mouthfeel. Oh, God. Oh, no, dude. Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, I know this is literally, like, stupid. Like, this is the stupidest, like, stop paying attention to this, it doesn't matter. But, like, literally these NPCs were spawned, like, beside each other, and they're on the same patrol path, and they're going at the same speed. Or at least they were. Like, it's so fun. Like, it's just a line of people. It's just a line of them. Just a conga line of them. Remember when there were, like, 5 people who were all going in the same direction? That was really funny. I thought that was funny. Oh, they going. Oh, they're going. Where are they going now? Are they going to walk into the wall? Oh, no, they're going to turn at the path. Okay, where are they going now? Okay, yeah. They're escorting the kid. Sure, that's why the kid was in the back. I suppose so. Yes, this is correct. It's honestly, that's kind of dank, though. Like, if you think about it. First of all, I hate talking about biology. Unless it is... Okay, I'm just not going to finish that sentence. Biology is one of my least favorite subjects. Because I don't like having to hear about organs. And the failure of organs. And the many different ways that I can die. Via organ failure. Which is maybe something that I don't want to admit to. But I think that it's... how far back are we going with this? So I played the original Trauma Center when I probably shouldn't have. And I thought that the imagery was very disturbing. The graphics were, like, kind of terrifying. And I think that just traumatized me. Looking at them now, it's just kind of like, wow, this is, like, super goofy. And also, I think one time I got food poisoning from, like, expired food. So similarly, I'm very neurotic about cooking meat. So I don't... The point is that I don't like having to think about meat unless it's hot dogs and mozzarella cheese balls. Sorry. So, like, I don't like having to think about like preparing food, raw meat, Generally, biology, not a huge fan. But it is cool. It is cool. Cool concept, cool fact. That it's like, how does your stomach not, like, literally burn itself? It's like, it's just like, it just has, like, a layer of mucus around it. And it's like, damn. Damn, that's so real. Like, that's fucking sick. I didn't swallow. That's what she said. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's very dumb. I just don't like it because it's almost purely memorization. Shit's boring as hell. Yeah, I think that, interestingly, as a pushback to that, I think that things which involve memorization or a degree of depth for, like, of knowledge basis, I think it's interesting to consider how you are supposed to remember those things, right? Like, for example, how are you going to remember that the stomach has mucus in it? Right? Like, are you just going to memorize that, like, the stomach is one of the organs that has mucus inside of it? It's like, no, it's so that, like, the hydrochloric acid doesn't burn itself, right? Like, that's a good way to memorize something because you're not really, like, you're not just memorize something rotely, you're, like, understanding the concept, right? And that is applicable to other things. So, like, why do you not spam dodge roll in Dark Souls? Because, like, you'll run out of stamina and then, like, die. And then also sometimes the bosses will have patterns which punish you for spam dodging. And also, if you use all of your stamina for dodging, you won't be able to attack. So, you know, you could say that spam dodging is the best way to never die. Maybe, but it clearly doesn't move you towards the solution. So you need to, like, consider and play around with that concept to understand it. I'd politely disagree, but I also cheated and took Latin. Knowing a bit of Greek and Latin helps trivialize memorizing biology stuff because you understand the terminology of it. Sure, yeah, so you could, like, make an association. That's another good way to, like, help with memorization, is making associations with stuff. I think at a base level, the concept is more like trying to build a mental model of your understanding of the reason why things are there. Is part of, like, having understanding. Which, in my experience, has made it easier to memorize things. However, once again, I don't like memorization. And also, like, I don't like having to memorize things. And I am attracted more to concepts, sciences, etc., whatever, which have, like, a concept that I can manipulate and utilize, because that makes it easier for me to remember things. So I think it's fair to say that the abstractness at which you can use the concept of memorizing through, like, thinking about it and understanding, like, there's someone who's not thinking about it, like, very, very deeply, I think, in my opinion, would observe, including myself, would observe that biology is difficult to, like, create an understanding basis of, whereas something like, you know, I would say, like, mathematics or physics, where it's very easy to abstract the understanding of it, right? Because physics almost entirely immediately goes into practicality, right? When you do, like, projectile calculations. Like, it almost immediately becomes, like, a minigame, right? So some people might have an easier time memorizing that stuff. Like, why do we have to calculate for friction? It's like, well, because the air has friction. And when you shoot a thing through air, like, there will be friction. Which will change the thing. Like, rub your hand on a desk. You are creating heat because there is friction. It's there. Immediately. Like, you can see it. It's not, like, hidden in your body where you have to find it or look at a microscope. It's like, it's there. Which also is interesting. I think that's why, like microscopes are so cool to people, because, like, they can actually, like, see the thing that they are trying to, like, research and abstract. Maybe? How exactly are you meant to remember in another way other than just memorizing, that gram staining checks for peptoglycian in the cell wall. I mean, you'd have to explain it to me, and then maybe I can, like, try. Why don't you explain it to me? How does that work? Like, what do all those terms mean, and how does it work? We can get to Fire Emblem eventually, I don't know. If you guys want to stop talking about biology, but it's fine either way for me. Because the first question that I have is, like, what is the purpose of the cell wall? Because it sounds like there's, like, there's a reason why the cell wall checks for a particular thing. So, like, what is the purpose of the cell wall? What does it do? And what are these two materials, and why do they care about those two materials? I was never a hard sciences person. Everyone has different aptitudes. I think dismissing any subject as just memorization or just hard is unfair. Sure, I don't think I was, like, trying to dismiss it. I don't know if that was the vibe I was giving off. Right? I'm saying that, like, I can't as directly see a correlation, or I could understand where someone would have difficulty, like, producing an understanding for a particular thing. And also, like, if you want my actual opinion, like, my genuine opinion, I want to think of the way I say this, but, like, because I don't think it's like black and white, for example, right? Like the way that I'm saying this, but I do. It was more directed at a point. Sure, I think that he's making a hyperbole for something that he has a feeling for, and I think that that's fair. So generally, when someone is like, they feel like the only way that they can get through a subject is by memorizing something, that person would naturally be frustrated with that thing and then throw it under the bus by saying it's just memorization. Like, I don't think... Like, I think that that's fair, that someone would do that. And I think we can all agree that it's not necessarily memorization. So, that's fair. The thing that I was going to say was, I actually think aptitude is a scam. I think aptitude is actually just a scam, in general. Like, in every concept of the understanding of the thing, I think aptitude is a scam. I think it's random what you gravitate towards in early childhood, and you randomly gravitate towards a particular thing because you were curious on a particular day about a particular thing, and then start developing in a particular way, and that's like almost completely random. However, so you could say that that's a basis for producing aptitude. However, what's saying you can't just replicate the process of curiosity, learning, and aptitude when you are older? And for me, I think the answer, as someone who is like a generalist and has to like learn new things all the time, like literally every single day, I just get told to do some shit that I didn't know how to do yesterday, right? I think that the difference is being able to like not delineate or not separate against information that you believe about yourself. So if you're like, I'm a biologist, therefore I will never be good at physics. Or I have tried physics and it was frustrating for me, so therefore it's bad. So I think that some degree of aptitude and then the amount of initial resistance you will have with something is fair. I don't think invalidating that experience is valuable, so I don't believe in that either. I just mean to say that there is likely a more variable range than people give themselves credit for when they say, like, I can't do art, I can't do math, I can't do a particular thing. I think these are literally just, like, lies you make up about yourself so that you don't have to do things that are difficult and that make you feel bad. Which is completely reasonable, by the way. I think that's totally reasonable. I don't think anyone should need to be forced to do anything that they're not comfortable with. That's totally valid. However, if we look at the mechanism of it, Like, I just don't want to be constrained by the fact that I go, well, I'm not good at that thing, so I'm not going to do it. And part of the reason why that's the case, once again, I've also talked about this before, but one of like the only reasons why I feel like I need to maintain that standpoint specifically for myself is that I said this before. If I want a thing, literally no one's gonna fucking make it for me. I am trapped by the fact that it's like, well, I want this thing. Well, how are you gonna get it? It's like, no one's gonna get it for you. No one's gonna buy it for you. No one's gonna like, it's like, you have to get it. You have to do it. You want music? You need it. You have to do it. You want a model? You need to do it. You want to make a game? You have to do it. Right? So there's like, that's where I'm coming from. Where it's like, I can't accept the fact that I'm inherently bad at a thing, so therefore I can't do it. Because then there will be things that I want that like I can't get because I'm just telling myself I can't do it. Right? There's also a component of interest, TBH. I wasn't as interested in hard science stuff, aptitude, goodness at it notwithstanding, so I never invested as much effort in learning it. Talent is just a pursuit interest, it said. Yeah, and I agree with that. Once again, this stuff isn't like black and white, and I think that like, I don't think any of the positions in this scenario are specifically trying to undermine the fact that like, there is discomfort, there is like natural aptitude, there is talent, there are these things, they do exist. It's just that I don't want to be inherently beholden to all of the things forever. That's all. And also, I do agree that interest is important as well. However, there's a meta perspective on interest as well, which I've talked about at different times. But like, where does interest come from? Like, why do you have interest in something? Right? So for me, I believe that there is an inherent ability based on preferences, or inherent like value based on preferences, right, that give you interest. So if something is within your preferences or within like your sense of identity, then you will be more interested in that thing. If you're an FPS player, you're going to be more interested in the next FPS game that's coming out and less interested in the next Fire Emblem game that's coming out. This is fair. Right? This is all fair. Right? However, can you say that even though I am like an FPS player, that's something I believe about myself, can I create interest within myself so that the importance of something goes up? And to me, the answer is literally yes. Like, literally, you can do that. This is like, it's wild. You can literally just say, I am going to choose to be interested in this thing, and then it becomes important to you. I actually believe that. So, if that's possible, what's the limit? Right? I think the limit is different for other people. And also, I don't even think it's just a skill issue. You could say, oh, it's just a skill issue. I think that's a little bit dismissive. Right? But I do actually, like, I legitimately think that there is a range of things that you could say, I'm going to try to be interested in this thing. Like, I'm going to try and build interest for this thing, which has, like, you know, whatever processes that are required to do that. I don't fully understand. I'm just saying, in my experience, that I've been able to go, I'm not interested in this thing. You know what? I'm going to try and be interested in this thing. I'm going to, like, think about it a little bit. I'm going to, like, let it simmer in my brain a little bit. You know what? I'm going to actually try doing it, and now I'm taking a class that I wouldn't have taken 6 months ago. Like, I'm currently enrolled in a class that I go to, like, on Fridays that I would not have taken 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I would have told you that that is not a thing that I do, that I'm never going to do that thing, ever, and that I have bad experiences with this particular thing, and that I'm going to choose to live the rest of my life not doing that thing. And I'm doing it right now. It's actually really fun. So it's like, how much can you change? I think that's different from person to person. My only claim is that I believe your capability for change is more than you believe it to be. And that's not to disparage you, but it's to give you hope that you can do something that you want to do. And I think that that's fair. I like, for me, a very key part of the framing is that this isn't to disparage you. I don't think people should believe that they have the capability to change, so therefore they should feel bad when they're not changing. It's that, like, hey, if you ever want to change, just know you can. It's possible. Could be. Right? Yeah. You want people to watch it, you have to... Hold up. Are we all together? What? Sorry, I totally missed the context for that. Also, welcome, Cavalier. I don't think I told you hello. You're totally right. A lot of people just hold themselves back on some notion of I'm just bad at it. Yeah, and I think I told myself that a lot too, right? Because I was told that I was talented at particular things and that I had aptitude for things. But what that actually ended up doing was I didn't do things that I thought I was bad at. And I felt like that held me back a lot. Like, that belief held me back a lot. The context was you talking about how if you want anything, you have to do it yourself. Yeah, I mean, sorry. So there's the obvious, listen, like, it's not all encompassing, right? Like, things are never black and white. There's context to what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying that if I want something, that I have to make it with my own two hands. And that has seemed to be the case for me a lot. Not every time, not all encompassing. There's probably more cases than not where, like, I've received extreme help, and, like, I didn't make it with my two hands, that I was supported by other people. I'm just saying that my experience has been that oftentimes I'm like, well, my conclusion is how am I going to get this thing? And the answer is, like, no one's going to get it for you, you have to get it yourself. And, like, that's kind of sad and isolating for me. But it's kind of true to me. It's true to me. It's true to me. Okay. Some people learn things easier than others. Aptitude is just the natural ability. Some things do come easier for others. I do agree, though, that people often put themselves in boxes. Yeah, the thing for me is I don't know what percentage or degree of aptitude is inherent to someone's, like, biology and what isn't. I'm led to believe that it is less. That people actually have a lot of control over themselves. But the bias is also that, supposedly, I'm a very competent individual. Supposedly. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. But, so speaking from someone who has the capability to change a lot, inherently my bias is to say that change is possible, right? So who knows? For some people, like, it's not possible. But that's why I thought that, like, for me, the framing isn't supposed to be negative. Like, if you ever take the thing that I'm saying on this topic specifically, right, it's, like, really, really important, right, is that if you take that framing and you're using it to, like, beat yourself up over the inability to change, I think that's toxic. Like, you should not use this lens for that purpose. I don't think it's valuable. Which is why I don't think it's important to say, like, you have a natural aptitude or don't have a natural aptitude. Like, the entire point is to overcome the fact that you have a natural aptitude or don't have one. It doesn't matter if you have a natural aptitude or not. It doesn't matter if that's true or real or not. You just have to do what you think you want to do. You can approach things that are difficult. That's fine. And you'll struggle. And you can acknowledge that you're going to struggle. And you can acknowledge that, like, maybe you didn't have the most aptitude in that thing. But that's okay. It's fine. Right? Because the only things that you can control are, like, your interest, your actual, like, performing of the thing, and your ability to try again. Right? Like, there's only... You can't control the aptitude, because apparently that's, like, a static value. But also that I think that the success doesn't come from the static value. People are very trait-based. My general argument for this is that people are very trait-based, and I don't believe that. I don't... I guess maybe part of the reason I don't believe in trait-based arguments is that, like, I don't actually believe I have good, like, traits. I think I struggle a lot with a lot of things, whereas people would view the result of what I do and say that I'm talented. Like, that's my general, like, thing that I claim. Right? That's the general thing that I claim, is that like when I'm doing something, I feel like I'm struggling a lot. And I feel like I have to go through the process of like struggle and hardship in order to like bring things into reality. And that process is difficult for me, and I have to pay a price to do it. Like I have to pay like a mental tax and like energy tax of like bringing this thing into the world. And my understanding is that if people like encounter or feel the same things, that like then it's possible. So if I don't assume that I have any traits, then like that means it's replicable by other people. Or we could like have some slight leeway here and say that, well, people do have traits, and then people's ability to work against or with those traits are, you know, up to people's interpretation. I think is also okay. Interest and aptitude can align, but not always. For example, know plenty of kids in my special ed class try so hard but lack the aptitudes to live by themselves due to their disability. Yeah, and I think that like there is, once again, like there's an expectation that like everybody can function the same, which I think is not true either. Right? So I think that the actual result or quality of the result of the thing that you produce could be variable, but there, once again, it's not black and white, there's a range. There's likely a range of what people have, which is, like, think about it this way. If you believe that you're at 30% and you can only ever be at 30%, it's impossible to move. Like, there is a weight of infinity gravity that says that you are only ever 30%. If you believe there is a range, so there's a range of I could perform as low as 10% or as high as 50%, that means you can, like, there's room to move and improve. Whereas, like it's the difference between 0 and 1% is infinity. So if it's 0% and you say you absolutely can't because it's all trait-based, then you can't move. If there's, like, even 1% that you can move, there's, like, infinity more improvement you could make. Going to scroll up. I'm an FPS player, which is why I think all FPS games, at least currently, are garbage. Hilarious. Okay. All the stuff about TF2. Why is Professor weaving between the support beams? Don't tell me. It's a regime we'll have to do. Oh god. Yeah, regimen. People put a lot of stock in traits and personality types, etc., because humans like to categorize things, even if the categories are a fallacy. Yes, so I agree with this. I actually think that humans categorizing themselves is a way to make sense of things, and I think that it's okay that people do that. I think it's okay that people try to make sense of the world by categorizing things. But if you recognize and realize that you are categorizing things, then you can afford to be like, well, I just don't have to categorize things. Why do I have to believe any of the categories that I make? Which I guess the question ends up becoming, like, is it more useful? So, okay, so what does believing in a categorization mean about what you have to do? Right? So, like, let's just, like, assume that this logic is variable, right? So, if I assume that there are traits, and I can only perform things if there are traits, right? And I don't have that trait, right? What it's trying to get you to do is do nothing. Right? Like, what you're trying to convince yourself of doing is doing nothing. Right? Because, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, if you're completely on board with that logic, that means you can't do anything. Like, that's just real. Right? So if I want to convince myself to not do something, I would say, like, well, I don't have the trait and I can't do it. Okay. Then I guess we'll not do anything. Right? Like, you know, and there's variable degrees of usefulness that can come from that. But, you know, if what I want is to do the thing, right, what is a more useful frame of mind? You know, is it more useful to say, the only people who can do the thing is a trait, therefore I will not do the thing? Or Like, despite me not having the trait, there is something that I can do and I can at least try. Like, which one's gonna push you in the right direction? You know, it's like, it's that simple for me. Like, one of these lines of logic, like, both of these can be true, but one of them makes you not do anything. Like, I don't know. So I just, like, choose not to do one of them. Like, I just choose not to believe one of them, because it means that I won't do anything. And I want to do stuff. The thing is, like, it could just be true. It could be like, okay, listen, okay, hear me out. Hold on a second. Alright, hear me out. Hold. Pause, everybody. Pause. Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out. Behind the screen, now I know this is crazy, this is wild. Behind the screen, I am not a cute blonde anime girl. Can you believe it? That's fucking crazy. Actually, as a matter of fact, I can go even farther. My voice doesn't sound like someone who's a cute blonde anime girl. Shocking. Absolutely bizarre. Isn't that crazy? You could even say, whoa, hold on a second, guys. Wait. But the thing is, like, cute girls with cute voices do well in the VTuber space. Because they have a trait. They have a cute voice, and they're a cute girl behind the screen. Which means that it's possible that they could be successful based on those traits. And you're telling me that I don't have those traits. Wait a minute. Wait, so that means I shouldn't be doing anything that I'm doing right now. Huh? Wait. Right? So, like, what I'm saying is that there are multiple traits that should convince me that I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. Which I think is fair. I actually think most smart people would not be wasting their time doing what I'm doing. And frankly, what I think I'm doing is a waste of time. I think my delusions of grandeur of wanting to be popular on the internet is not... Like, that's literally never going to happen, unfortunately. Despite my wishes and desires for that to happen. But I'm doing it anyways. I don't care. Whether or not that matters is up to your personal psychology. Will you be stubborn enough to push through or accept defeat? Damn, you're right. It's still trait-based. Also, apropos of nothing, I find most cute girl VTuber voices annoying. That's fair. I mean, you know. I think, once again, like, I think having traits, I think having aptitudes, I think having preferences is fine. Like, you know, I don't think that... I think delineating out information that you don't want is, like, it's okay. That's fine. But also, I'm literally a walking example of doing everything wrong, and then doing it anyways. If you want it to happen, you have to do it yourself. Make alt accounts and... Oh my god. Yeah. No, I'm just gonna, like, eventually get a full-time job and then spend most of my I'm gonna spend most of my extraneous currency once I have a full-time job on just advertising my videos. Because advertising just works, so... I'll hit you up once I hit a big number after I've invested $1 million in myself. I'll let you know. That's never gonna happen. Okay. So let me look at the rest of this. Okay, so I rather appreciate the concept of personality types. My mom used to say some things I did, such as playing games a lot wasn't normal, but nothing good is normal, I think. Yeah, so once again, I think the categorization of information has value to it. So I think making a mental model of something and saying, here's a personality type, you can take the information of a personality type, try to apply it to yourself, and make, like, further understanding of your reality through that information. I think that's okay. What I'm saying is that you don't have to believe it all the time. Like, you don't have to solidly believe it all the time. Right? That's the only thing. Is people don't know that they can just not believe it all the time. Like, you can just choose not to, like, when all signs point to no, you can still choose yes. There are a lot of reasons you should not do that. So many reasons. So many reasons. So many reasons. It's not even funny. However, that being said, I think that saying, hey, look, like, being on the internet and being a goofball and also, like, sharing my perspective on life, I think is important. Like, I want to do that. I actually think that there are people around me who I've seen in my life, who I've talked to, who have been, like, what are they called? Acquaintances. Like, I've had acquaintances who are, like, they're... I don't want to make it sound like this is some, like, holier-than-thou thing or whatever, right? But it's literally, like, I'm just around people who, like, they just, like, are hurting. You know what I mean? Like, they're not... Like, they just believe stuff and then get really down on themselves. And it's like, hey, man, like, you don't have to believe it. I know that you believe this without a shadow of a doubt right now, but, like, you don't have to. And I'm going to say that there's, like, hope that you can not do that. Which is why I'm going to, in this scenario, many signs point to no, and I'm going to choose to do it anyways. Lots of logic would point me to no, and I'm going to choose to do it anyways. I like to think aptitude, basically the ability to. For example, Flora, you want to be an NBA player. You need to have the talent, size, and body to achieve that dream, and even then, it's going to take a lot of hard work. Yeah, and my belief would say that even though you don't have particular traits, you could still become an NBA player. You would just be kind of a bad one, maybe. Why did you say you had to be a good one? The goal was to become an NBA player. Right? No one said you had to be, like, the next, or to be... I don't know basketball players, but, like, do you want to be the next LeBron James? Well, you can't be LeBron James because you aren't LeBron James. Like, that's just not true. I think it's fair to recognize the reality of the situation. But, yeah. So there's, like... There's recognizing what reality is, and then I think there's, like, you know, making conclusions about reality based on observations. You don't have to follow your own conclusions. Not all the time, at least. Technically, the difference between 0% and 1% is seen as undefined non-infinity. Shut the fuck up, boy! Shut up! Shut up! Shut! You are not Luigi. You do not win by doing nothing. Yeah. Setting limits without at least trying and giving your all is what stops a lot of people. You won't know it if you can succeed if you don't try. For sure, yeah. And, like, I think there's... Listen, this is all... Okay, so if I'm presenting two halves of a coin, right? There's, like, the very practical half of the coin, which is like, listen, man, if you're short and you want to be a basketball player, like, signs aren't good. Like, it's probably not gonna... Like, that's gonna be really hard. I think that's a fair observation, right? That's fair. Right? But then there's the other half that says, well, you know what? I'm not going to let that conclusion dictate my life. I'm gonna try anyways. And I'm gonna, like, give it my best shot. I know that I'm not gonna be as good at doing particular things, and also that people who are taller than me are going to, like, almost certainly block my shots all the time. So, what can I do about that? What can I do about that? I don't know what the answer to that question is, because I don't know what the rules of basketball are, but yeah. Behind the... Oh my goodness, there was way more typing. I'm sorry that I am slow to read chat, because I am tangenting for a long time, but I do want to read most of it. Behind the screen, Flowers is 6'7", massive buff man. Agree. That's real. My trust I have built over 3 streams is broken forever. /ass. Thank you. Aptitude only comes up after, and it's basically how well you can do something and how far you can get, like the NBA example I said. I think that's, like, a decent way to conceptualize aptitude. Guys, we need to start clipping Flower and post them on the internet so that he'll be more famous. Trust me on this one. If you want to happen, you have to... Yeah, okay, we already read that one. Real. I never said trait-based. Do you yourself wanted enough to push through? Are you having fun despite not seeing objective success? That's what's important. Oh, fair. Okay. I thought you were making like a little bit of a meme about it, which I think is like fair to say. Like you could say that your own personal psychology is a trait thing and then reduce it into which you have no control. And I just thought that was funny. I'm not trying to shit on your take. And you clarifying is very important, and thank you for doing that. Categorization is useful. I absolutely agree. It's what you do with those categorizations and how you apply them to yourself and your life where the fallacies issue can arise. Yeah. Because logic is selective. Right? Like, you can come up with any reason to do anything. Depending on how zero brain power you want to go, you can just, like, make up bullshit reasons for anything and just do it. My favorite line of logic that people do, which is bizarre, it's actually crazy. I don't know why people do it. It's really weird. So what they believe is they buy a lottery ticket, and they say that, well, I'm different. So there's a chance that I win this lottery in my lifetime, which means that I'm going to do it. And you know what I think about that? I would tell you that the numbers are so astronomically low that literally the money you would save... okay, so again, here's two lines of logic that can both be true. Okay, so it is both true that you can choose to participate in the lottery with the hopes that you will win the lottery. Yes, you can try to win the lottery by participating in it. This is true. This is true. If the answer is if you want to participate in the lottery to try and win the lottery, you have to participate. That's just what it is. That's just real, right? However, you could say a different line of logic, which is the money that I would save off of never buying a lottery ticket in my entire life gives me more money, assuming that I never win the lottery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to never buy a lottery ticket in my entire life because I know that once I have saved the extra, like, $40,000 or whatever in buying lottery tickets over the course of my entire life, that money will be better spent advertising my YouTube channel. So I'm just going to buy a different lottery ticket. I'm just going to buy a different lottery ticket. Right? These are both true. It's just which one you want to believe. If you don't have the body for it, there's no real chance of getting into the NBA. Getting good at basketball for your height is one thing, but no shot of getting picked up. Yeah, again, this thing is like, I don't know. I just don't know if that's true or not. I can't say with 100% certainty that that is true, boy. I actually think that it's possible that, you know, with all the randomness and permutations of the world, that, like, there could just be, like, a very short basketball player who gets into the NBA and then people, like, literally shit bricks. And then it's like, what is happening? I'm so confused. You can't be a bad NBA player, and you don't have to, but aptitude definitely what you need to be able to achieve that dream. If not, of course, you can be a basketball coach, etc. I don't know what the answer to that question is because I don't know the rules of basketball. It's possible if it's just height, but you really have to be good to be picked up. That's why a lot of short players in NBA are stars. You at least know their name. Spudweb is the GOAT. Some short basketball players can jump quite high. Oh, so yeah, so there are short basketball players who are successful. There's a precedent for this. Is that correct? A very short basketball player has a 12 feet vertical. Yeah, I mean, like that. Yeah. So, you know, once again, I don't know if I want to, like, you know, selectively choose this thing and hammer the point home, you know what I mean? But, like, there is a range. Once again, it's not black and white, but there is a range of possibility that people have, is my belief. There's a range of possibility. And I think there are a lot of people who don't believe in the range of possibility. So you can afford to believe in the range of possibility. And by doing that, it will allow you to do more things. Or if you don't want to do things, then you can just, like, believe everything that tells you to not do things. That's also possible. You can do anything you want, including doing nothing. The best, actually, let me tell you, I've got a really good strategy for how to do nothing. It's really dope. Here, let me tell you. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so what you do is you raise your logic skill really, really high, like really, really super high. So you have the ability to justify your actions in any given circumstance, right? Make that really, really high, super duper high, right? And then also use your logic selectively all the time to say that you don't have a particular thing, so therefore it's a waste of your time. Or just in general, that the investment to do the thing is not worth the outcome for multiple different reasons that you have made logical conclusions for. Dominant strategy, I'm telling you. It's the dominant strategy at making you do fucking nothing. It's dope. It's super good. I gotta say, like, the build is 10 out of 10. Literally just only spec into logic, and then, I don't know, maybe give yourself depression or something. It's dope. It's fucking dope. It's so good. My point is natural ability aptitude isn't necessarily a scam, more like something that's hard to evaluate and comes up when you're in highly competitive fields. Which, as Flair said, if you try and can't make it, you can just use that passion for something else. Yeah, so, yeah. I think what I want to reframe the concept of natural ability or aptitude as is that there is a certain reality of your circumstances, right? I don't like using the word aptitude. There's just your circumstances. And there's a certain reality to the circumstances that you're in, right? And those circumstances are going to determine whether things are hard or not. Going to determine whether those things are hard or not hard. Unfortunately, my circumstances would determine that I really want to be a cute anime girl on the internet. My circumstances have led me to this point, which does determine some parts or some realities of how successful I will be on a reality basis. However, that doesn't need to stop me from doing anything. That conclusion doesn't need to go anywhere. It's just an observation. What you conclude from that observation is, like, different. And also conclusions can be valuable. Because maybe you don't want to waste, like, 20 years of your life trying to be a basketball player when your circumstances don't necessarily help you in that regard, and you find out 20 years later that you didn't actually want to be a basketball player, and, like, you don't know why you were chasing this dream so hard, and, like, actually what you wanted to do was grow plants, and, like, and then you find out that you were actually a gardener the entire time, and that's what you wanted to do. So it's good to check yourself. It's good to check yourself. I just don't think it has to be from a perspective of, like, hopelessness and giving up based on circumstances. Because in the same way, people who don't have a green thumb give up on gardening. I don't know. Like, what the fuck does having a green thumb mean? I know what it means. Once again, it's literally the entire argument reiterated, so I'm not gonna go down that path. Sometimes you have to treat yourself like an anime protagonist and just face the impossible odds. Sometimes you don't have to. It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Sometimes you need to learn to just shoot hoops with your lads instead of chasing a dream. Yeah, exactly. It's like you could want to just shoot hoops with your lads, and that's fine too. I understand personally, like, using aptitude because I'm heavily thankful for what I was given in life. Like, being in special ed's class, seeing people struggle makes it so when I go through hardship, I'm assuming it's easier for you because you can finish your sentence, but I have a feeling I know where you're going. So, and I will wait respectfully. But we can talk to Ash.
Returning to the monastery brings back so many memories from 5 years ago. Hard to believe we only spent a year together here. So much happened that it felt a lot longer than that. But it was all so exciting and so much fun. Honestly, I think those memories are what's kept me fighting this long. What was that year like for you, Professor?
It was pretty fun.
I don't think I could ask for a better answer. Let's all do our best to survive this, so we can come back here when it's all over. I know that's what I'll be doing.
Sorry, I thought Ash was gonna say he's doing his part again, which is, again, like, just funny. I just want to edit Helldivers over Ash again. That's all I wanted to do. Yeah, when I go through hardship, I can always be grounded in myself and remember that the struggle they went through and know I can conquer it. Yeah, exactly. So, once again, there's a reality about your circumstances. You went through a particular experience, and that is real. So there is a reality in your circumstances, and then what you conclude from that reality can differ from person to person. You could just as easily conclude by going through the same life events that you went through, Rance, that life is actually hopeless and that you shouldn't do anything. Someone could come to that conclusion, and that's the part I'm saying you should think about. Because, like, there's no guarantee that you're going to come to, like, some kind of conclusion, right, about a particular thing. And I think people don't question the conclusion that they come to based on their circumstances well enough. And that leaves them stuck. Ash is not doing his part in this war. Exactly. He really isn't. He really isn't.
I wonder what the Emperor looks like. I bet she's really scary.
Yes, Edelgard is terrifying.
You don't think so? I've never seen her, so I was just guessing. She
No,
tried to destroy the kingdom and the alliance, and order the capture of the Archbishop, right? I don't know. Someone who could do such terrible things just has to be really scary looking.
That dialogue was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, and I'm going to be real with you, kid. Edelgard is pretty terrifying. In kind of a good way, in like a way where like she kind of like looks at me all scary like, and I get like a little excited, but I'm just saying that, you know, I don't know.
Professor, my mother might be in the city. I don't have many good memories of her, if I'm being honest, but she's dearer to me than my father. If you happen to see her, please make sure she's not caught up in all the fighting. She's only a civil servant, so hopefully she takes a cue from her burning and stays inside.
That's cute. We'll make sure your mom is inside.
Professor, I keep thinking the war is near its end, then it isn't. When can we finally put this dreadful war behind us?
Let's end it with the next battle.
That would be wonderful. Imagine the last moment of combat, then peace. It sounds like a fairy tale. I want to make this a world where there is no fighting, where children can grow up happy and safe.
Sure. Sorry, I thought it was a funny joke because I don't know if the next map is the last map or not. I just, like, literally don't know. No spoilers. I don't know when the last map is. Okay. Hello, citizen.
Once you set out on your next mission, you won't be able to have a proper meal for a while, right? You should eat up while you can. Build up your physical strength to prepare for the mission.
For some reason, my headphones were not equal. Very weird. Wait, weren't, I thought these two... Oh, they're over there. End of a war is never the end of the combat.
I hope this is the final battle. Don't you, Professor? When the war is over, everyone will be busy with their own lives. But let's all meet up again someday. Right here at Garreg Mach. You, His Highness, my father, our monastery friends, the knights, everyone.
Yeah.
It was just a silly whim I had, but I really love it. Oh, and I'll bake a bunch of desserts for it. Reunion sweets. All we have to do now is win. Let's get to it, Professor.
True. True and real and based.
The capital soon. So much rests on this moment. Will the war really be over if we take the capital?
It might not end right away.
Right. But we'll get there eventually. I truly believe that a peaceful future is waiting at the end of all of this.
Would be a decent idea to follow our advice. What? Have a meal because you aren't going to be able to have food in a while? I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Where's our gate boy? We can talk to the gate boy.
Yes.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Momentum's really picking up for this final battle, huh? Even I'm starting to feel tense. Me! Enbar's history goes back 1,400 years. That even predates the founding of the Empire. It's one of the sacred sites of the Seros faith, so it's a pretty big deal. But hey, no need to worry about the monastery while you're fighting the final battle. I've got it covered. I'll defend it to my last.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. All of them are talking about how this is the final battle, and I'm starting to get concerned that this is actually the last chapter. I don't know if it is. Is this the last chapter? I don't know. What is happening here? Oh, man. Oh, goodness. The pathfinding. Oh, God. Oh, whoops. Ah, jeez. I don't know, man. Dorothy, you silly girl. You soon are going to restart and pick up your class, so war's just the beginning. Pushing contest. You guys, we gotta push each other. Pushing in different directions, guys. Oh, man.
While on some business, I went to see how the kingdom capital is getting on. There are still some things to work out before it can be restored. But generally, things seem to have calmed down. It's on its way to resuming its old energy. I think this will end up being a better kingdom than before. I really believe that.
You got it, random merchant girl.
Yes.
Do 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 do. Lyria! Light! Lyria!
It's like this.
You're not like
I used to
Cynthia.
work for Cornelia in Ferdiad. I only followed her because I didn't want to die. But afterwards, I felt so ashamed I wanted to die anyway. I
Damn.
still can't figure out why I did it. Anyway, I'm glad you did what you did.
I was so cringe. It was too cringe.
From now
No.
on, I'm going to devote myself to the kingdom and fight for what I believe in.
Wait, that. Whoa. That's not what I wanted to do. Where's Lycia? Oh my god. Sorry, I missed the context for it.
Listen,
I was half paying attention.
wanting
Hello
so
there.
desperately to speak with Edelgard, just as we're about to fight. Could it be that the prince is having doubts about killing her?
I think it's a
I
formality.
suppose they're the only ones who fully understand the extent of their relationship. He's certainly changed from the vengeful person he once was. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm actually relieved. A king who's responsible for Fodlan's future can't exact personal vendettas and have a cold heart.
It's, you know, that's fair. I think, I mean, honestly, Lycia, you don't think having, like, a super, super angry king who's vengeful and kills everybody is a bad, like, come on, it's fine. Oh. I know that soldier's witchy outfit was just super cute for the male NPC model, peak non-binary slay.
It's like this.
I could see it. That's fair. That's decent. I mean, hey, like having, long drapey robes are cool. We should normalize having cool long drapey robes. Shit slaps.
No.
What's we got? Normalize? I was gonna say normalize wearing, like, Plague Doctor outfits.
That's right. It's such a relief that we've made it this far without having to fight my father.
I mean, I could see it, Rev. It's like, neither here nor there. Normalize Plague Doctor outfits, I agree. I
Are
don't
you
know.
trying to
I wasn't
scare
paying
me?
attention, Casper,
What if
sorry.
he turns up while we're charging the capital? But still, I wonder what'll happen to him if we win.
Sorry, I literally wasn't paying attention, bro. My bad. What else we got? Felix. Normalize wearing Sentai outfits. I want everyone looking like Kamen Riders. I mean, I was... I'm gonna say it, guys. I hate to break it to you. I have to say it. I think we should normalize wearing hentai outfits. Gonna be real with you, I think it should just be normalized. I think it's further than... Guys, am I anyone with me though? Anyone with me though? Like hoodies? Oh my god. Anyone else with me? Oh man. Which ones? I'm gonna choose to not elaborate.
She's his stepsister, I know, but this seems risky.
Are you against it?
No, I'm not. I'm sure he's thought it through. If the two can settle this diplomatically, that would be the best way out of this mess. No more bloodshed.
Yeah.
Let's just hope he doesn't become so overwhelmed with emotion that he's unable to strike her down, should the need arise.
What do you mean by that, Felix? What do you mean by that? Are you foreshadowing that maybe that there will be a moment in which Dimitri will need to strike down Edelgard and that he won't be able to do it, and that will cause a major plot beat that will cause tension in the story? I actually haven't played this route, so if that's true, that's fucking awesome. If that's the most call shot I've ever made in my entire life, that would be fucking sick. No spoilers. Sometimes Fire Emblem characters just say things in weird ways and I go like, ain't no fucking way. You mean to say this might not be the final battle after all? Oh man. Bloodshed is the only thing Dimitri knew. For real, for real. I want Power Ranger and Kamen Rider, not hentai outfits, you heathen! Yeah, but I want hentai outfits. Listen, I just want to walk around wearing ribbons and have that be okay. Like, come on. To which the answer is no one wants to see that flyer. Shut the fuck up.
I've been thinking about how we've got our own ideas about justice. And so does the Empire. And what's coming? It's not just a battle between us and them. It's our ideals that are fighting. Whoever wins will say they were right, and the other side was wrong. And I get it. That's how it goes. But nobody's willing to talk or compromise. So we'll fight to the death to prove the other guy's wrong. It won't be an easy battle, but let's make sure we come back alive. Right, Professor?
Don't worry, Sylvain. You have a 0% chance of dying because you literally won't be on the battlefield. Don't worry about it. Ingrid. What's up, gamer?
Thank you. I'm so glad you were assigned to the Blue Lion House, Professor. We made it this far, thanks to your guidance and leadership. There's a bitter fight ahead, that much is certain. You have my lance.
Ingrid, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're a sword dancer. You're not actually a lance. You're not a lance user. Listen, I'm really sorry, but I'm counting on you.
Let's do this together.
Bro, I think you overestimate how clean things are if you want that. Like, nah, I don't want freshly chewed gum stick to my butt. What the? What? Well, where the fuck did that come from? What? Huh? What are you talking about? What the hell?
Hello.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What did he mean by this?
Okay.
Honestly, my favorite thing, which, by the way, thank you everybody who came to watch the video for the watch along, the premiere. But literally my favorite meme from that was just like, what did he mean by this? Like, what exactly, Dimitri, what did you mean by that? Edelgard, what did you mean by, like, if we're at war, then we can fight each other as much as we want. What did she mean by this? Like, thinking emoji. I perhaps wonder what she meant by this.
Okay.
It's very likely that Lady Rhea is confined in the Imperial Palace. If so, then our strategy will be to gain control of the streets and then assault the castle. A street battle followed by a castle invasion. It's just one battle after another. It'll be tough, but we have to win. For Lady Rhea.
Okay. I'm sure we will. We want to save Dragon Mommy.
10 years ago, Dagda and Bridget attacked the Empire from the west. Their final target was the capital. But they were countered at a port town long before they reached their destination. We spent a lot of time going back and forth, but at least we made it this far.
Sorry, Shamir, I wasn't paying attention. I was reading chat. Nor do I want to see furry sex outfits or people with collars on. Oh god. Or old people in bikinis. I mean, hey, I've watched a non-zero number of VTubers have dog bowls. Now, I don't know what they're trying to say with that. I'm just saying that that happened, and I witnessed it. I'm going to tell you that I do not have a dog bowl. However, if I did, I think it'd be really funny to drink out of it if there was condensed milk in it. Because I just think that's funny. I just think that's funny. Like, I just think it'd be funny. For no other reason. For no other reason except for the absurdity of it. Stop! Of course you don't, it's yours, so it's a human bowl. Oh god. I just think it'd be funny. My dream of becoming a proper knight still feels so far off. What can I do to realize my full potential? Eat, train, study, sleep, repeat. Be honest and stick to your convictions. Probably this, I don't know. I could say, like... I literally think you could say any of these. Nice. Well, we picked the correct one. Okay.
Sorry, but I'm not the fighting type. All I can do is lend you the stuff you need. And, you know, pray to the goddess for your safety. Win, live, and return, okay? Mostly so you can pay me back for the stuff you borrowed.
What? I didn't borrow any shit from you. You shut the fuck up, merchant. I bought all of my shit myself.
That reminds me.
Let me consider. It matters not how just our cause may be. In the end, war is nothing more than organized murder.
War never changes. Someone already said that.
Conclusion. But we mustn't overlook the sins inherent in our deeds.
Sure. I understand.
Sorry. I have a tendency to preach. We have lost so much. And in return, we have taken much from our enemies. I pray we can put an end to this cycle of violence.
Sins? What sins? Civilians are acceptable casualties, right?
Please.
I mean, listen, hear me out, right?
That's right.
Thank you for agreeing with me. I haven't even said anything yet. Listen, so hear me out. A sin is determined by the moral compass of the goddess, right? So if we say that the moral compass of the goddess is that it's okay to have civilians as casualties, then, well, the goddess is saying that it's actually acceptable, which means it's not a sin. So it's okay. It's okay, right? Yeah, it's fine. What? Why?
What?
I'm just saying that if the people of the Church of Seros want to believe that their deity is saying that they're compelled by their deity to to do a particular thing. I'm just saying that, you know, some unsavory events have happened using the same kind of justification, and that's kind of not super good. I mean, what? To the checklist, okay.
Our next battlefield will be the Imperial capital. There will be no turning back. If you have any unfinished business here, you had best settle it before we depart.
Leave it to me?
I knew I could count on you. Good luck.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Please.
Unfortunately, this means we need to spoil whether or not this is the final battle or not the final battle. Do I need to do the thing where I spin the wheel and I propose to somebody, like, right now? Do I have to do that before I leave? Why, just because you're the goddess? Okay, listen, my doctrine does not need to include or disclude or have anything to do with, you know... I just don't want to miss spinning the wheel if I have to spin the wheel now. If I remember correctly, it'll trigger a cutscene, but go to Gerald's grave just to be sure. Okay. Got it. I will go check that. Thou art a war criminal? Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna save. And oh, we have to talk to
Looks like we're
Catherine.
nearing the end of this struggle. I'm sure Lady Rhea is on tenterhooks waiting for me to swoop in and rescue her.
Probably.
I was just kidding. Pay me no mind. Lady Rhea's not waiting for me, I know. No matter how much I might wish she were. She's waiting for you.
I think you would love Edelgard route. She and you have similar viewpoints of the church. Rhea, I give you all the Mountain Dews instead of Dr. Pepper. Edelgard, war crimes. This is war crimes. Let's double check. Okay, well, I did it. Well, I don't know, maybe it'll...
Fighting in the capital? Ugh. And we're fighting against Edelgard. Double ugh. But with you leading us, Professor, I know we'll win. Yeah! Woohoo! Fighting! I'm a little scared, to be honest. I'm just shouting to relieve the tension, but I'll be fine.
Okay, the game will prompt you when the time comes. Okay.
Hey, you.
Sounds good. Mountain Dew instead of Dr. Pepper. Dang, the church isn't just evil, it's downright malicious. It's downright... oh, I thought it was... You put M-A-I-L. Malicious. That's a little different. I think that Astolfo is malicious. Okay, so, the statues. Do you want to polish any of the statues? We, do anything with the statues? No? Okay, cool.
Soon.
Very cool. Oh my god. Talk to Lorenz. Mountain Dew instead of Dr. Pepper. The church is downright delicious. I don't actually know if I have a favorite soda.
At last, we've come to the final confrontation. Ruin to the Empire. Glory to Fargus.
Like, I think Mountain Dew's aight. I think Dr. Pepper is also aight.
Of course, to be perfectly honest, I would have much preferred to march against the Empire at the head of the Alliance. But I suppose I have Claude to thank for denying me that satisfaction, don't I?
Yes? Claude was like, peace, see ya, adios, later.
Professor, here we are, facing the final battle with the Empire. It's been a long, difficult struggle. We have to get Lady Rhea back, And we have to crush the Empire in the name of Captain Gerald. He's watching over us now, protecting us. I know he is.
You keep believing that, buddy.
Rhea will be somewhere in the city. I wonder if she can sense us coming. The battle will soon be upon us. Let us both be at our best for what is to come.
Root beer is my favorite. Or specifically A&W root beer is my favorite. I do, but unfortunately it's only really sold in Denmark. Some stores carry it in Norway, but it's way too expensive. Damn, that's true. Yeah, I've had some like Italian sodas, I think, that are like really, really good, but are also overpriced. So I feel that. There's like a cola brand, I think.
Well,
it's quite good. I'm from Texas, so is Dr. Pepper, so I grew up around lots of Dr. Pepper. Ah, true. True. This is true. Fair. I had a bunch of different ones, so there's a wide range of acceptable. Also, like, combo drinks, you know what I mean? Like, I like doing, like, sodas with, like, low, like, a neutral flavor profile and then adding some lemonade. Like, I'm pretty into that. I like that.
Enbar's streets are paved with unhappy memories, Professor. I've avoided the damned place ever since I abandoned my nobility, swore never to return. Now here we are. To return in this manner. Well, I can't say it is something I ever imagined, especially as I'm returning to end the Empire. What a strange feeling, breaking one's history.
Yeah, honestly, RIP, it's like, I didn't want to go back again. Well, we have to. Damn. Sure do be one of those times, don't it? Has anyone had the sort of new coconut Dr. Pepper? It's decent. I have not tried it. That sounds, like, interesting. I mean, you know how I feel about nutty flavors. I don't think I've ever clarified. I actually don't think I've literally ever talked about that ever in my entire life.
I was born in Enbar. My mother and father met in a church there. Not too long after, I was brought into the world. I do not understand how war can happen in such a precious place. It is most regrettable.
Yeah, I was more wondering, like, oh, coconut... Like, if you use, like, coconut water, for example, and combined it with, like, a soda drink, if that would, like, replicate the flavor. Sounds kind of interesting.
Life can be tough, you know? But if you've got your friends to help you through, it can be a lot easier. Maybe you butt heads sometimes, but that's okay. That's how you build bonds, right? And I've got friends, Professor, plenty of those. It's true love that seems to have passed me by.
There's the three options. Time to give up. I feel like that there's still hope is the answer, but I just want to tell Manuela, like, listen, Manuela, maybe it's time to give up. maybe it's ogre. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, Manuela, the age above 30 is in demand. There's still hope. You can reignite a dying star.
But where is my
there we
true
go.
love to be found? Where is my ray of hope? At this point, you're the only man who pays attention to me. I guess I'll have to take what I can get.
Will you? And then you... Yeah, exactly. We could just marry Manuela. Easy. Maybe it's ogre. Somebody! Yeah, you don't have to check, Rav. It's fine. There's no Dr. Pepper in Norway? Damn. Also, Manuela, don't you have you and Hanneman have like a thing. Yeah, it kind of feels like they do. Okay. Oh, I'm terrible to this day when I'm on soda machines. Let's just combine everything. It'll taste good this time, I swear. Yo, that's so real though, Rance. Like, that's so real. When you're like, nah, this time it'll be good. I've actually... This happens usually with seasonal drinks. I know that that's, like, literally why they market it that way. Like, I get it. I know I'm falling for the marketing scam, but listen. When it's like, oh, I haven't tried that in a while. Maybe I'll try it again. And then I'm like, yuck, it's gross. And then I just do it again. It's like... And then 6 months later, I just do it again. And I'm like, why did I do this? I knew this was bad. Like, I was just curious about it again. But it's still bad. It actually happens so much to me. Okay, we have done all of those. Oh, we haven't talked to Anna yet. Sprite Cranberry? Sprite Cranberry is actually okay.
Right.
I like Sprite Cranberry.
Seems like the war is gonna end soon. Once the dust settles, it'll be back to rolling in fat stacks of gold for me.
Gotta love Anna, dude. I keep saying Anna, whatever, but hilarious. Good. Good. When the war ends, I'm just gonna be making mad fucking bank.
Right.
Oh, it is? I thought it was just a big meme. Oh, no, I know that there's, like... There's all the commercial memes of, like, Sprite Cranberry, but I think I've had it before and it was okay. Mountain Flaming Hot? What is that? What the hell is that? Supports. We have supports.
Good evening, Dimitri. Have you come to pray?
Something like that. And you?
Oh yes, that's why I'm here. I love how calm and peaceful the cathedral is this late at night.
It really is.
Coming here on a quiet night always makes me think of those who aren't with us anymore. We've lost so many in this war, too many to count.
Sorry, it's just like, oh, like, did you come here to pray as well? And it's like, yeah, you know, it's like, oh, we can, like, pray together, and that's, like, very wholesome, and, like, oh, that's so nice, and it's like, man, I just think of everyone who died. And it's like, damn, man. Shit. Lime sodas are good for mixing. Absolutely, I agree. I think you can mix colas with, like, lemonade also works, in my opinion. So I think mixing lemonade with lime sodas isn't really, like, not super... It's not always the most compelling. Oh, that was the soda made from hell, not because it's hot, but because it tastes terrible. Also, I like Sprite Cranberry, yeah. I did try the Flaming Hot Mountain Dew. It was neat. Oh. I've never seen it. I want Mercedes and Lorenz to end up with each other, TBH.
I hope they all get to live in eternal happiness at the goddess's side. These prayers are all I have to offer.
You are a kind soul, Mercedes.
I think you're kind too, Dimitri. Sometimes to a fault.
Except when he's talking about burning the heretics.
No, not at all. I am just a killer. A disgusting monster.
But why do you kill? For the sake of your loved ones? Those who have passed? Real monsters kill for selfish reasons. They're incapable of expressing sorrow when they kill. So please, don't call yourself a monster.
Oh.
Mercedes.
That's so wholesome.
I am scared. So scared that I will forget their faces. The people who have died. Who I have killed. I cannot let myself forget them. I know that, and yet... Whatever my feelings, it is all the act of a monster.
It's sad, but the truth is that people forget. You may be afraid to forget your past, but you'll never be able to revisit it. Living in the present is the best we can do. We owe it to those who can't come back.
If someone had said those words to me 5 years ago, I would be a different man today.
What do you want to do now, Dimitri? Continue fighting for those who have died? Not as a king, but as my classmate. What do you want to do?
My own dreams. I have never given it any thought.
This conversation is so wholesome, and then I was like, what do you want to do now, Dimitri? What do you want to do as my classmate? And then I was like, bed breaking set. It's so bad. Dude, my brain is so gone, man. It's so bad. The fuck is wrong with me? Thank you. If you keep bonking me, maybe the degeneracy will leave my brain. You know, maybe it'll go somewhere else and then I won't have to deal with it anymore. She did say mate. I'm sorry. Yo, blackberry ginger ale sounds dope. What the hell? That sounds so good. So weird, not even sweet taste, like you poured a bunch of... What? Sweat into a cup and tried to make it spicy? What the... What? I mean, like, it depends whose sweat it is, but, like, you know, maybe, like, sweat in a cup ain't too bad. I'm sorry.
What about you? What do you want, Mercedes?
I want to keep sewing and training with you, even after you've become king. I want to be your friend.
Rip Bozo friendzone. Get friendzone, Dimitri. Rip Bozo. Rip. Ripperoni pepperoni.
But I have no right to stand beside you.
Please. I can't hear any more of this self-deprecation. I just want to be by your side. Is that so much to ask?
Mercedes. I want the same thing. If you allow it, I wish to stay by your side.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way.
Sweat in a cup? Vomit? Listen, I was having a conversation with some of my friends yesterday, and like listen, the conversation started with like I am the table, and then they throw the table out. That's where it started, and I was like, man, I don't want to be a table. I want to be a chair. I want to be someone's chair. To which I was corrected, and then I was like, Flower, I know what you want to be. You don't want to be a chair, you want to be their footstool. And I was like, no, see, that's where you're wrong. I have to one-up you again. I don't want to be someone's footstool. I want to be the hot springs foot bath water. we had to one-up you a couple times. We had to go a little bit further beyond. You know, yeah. Cute girl sweater does not, or cute girl sweat does not equal man sweat. That is correct. Exactly. They are different. Literally different things. You know. Anyways, look forward to my new show. That time I was reincarnated as foot bath water. Not to be confused with the hot springs. Oh man, sweat is sweat. It's vile either way. Oh god.
Let's spend a little more time here together, just the two of us.
Just the two of us. That was cute. I like that. That was very cute.
Too much fighting. I need a moment's peace.
Why, if it isn't Dorothea?
Sweat isn't vile, it's the bacteria that feasts on it that's vile. Well, call me vile, cause... Oh god. They don't call her Mercy for nothing. She's very cute.
What are you doing here?
Patrolling the grounds. There have been entirely too many raids as of late. And yourself?
Nothing. Not really. I just needed a bit of quiet.
It is regrettable to see you so troubled by this war. This is not a burden any commoner should bear.
Don't trouble yourself on my account. So, did you ever find that wife you were looking for?
This is hardly the time or place for me to be searching for a bride. Why do you ask?
The truth is, I know this is sudden, but there's a war on, and who knows what tomorrow brings, right?
Go on.
I've always been quite fond of you. But I've also, well, I've given up on you.
That is sudden, but why would you give up on me?
You're from a noble family, and I'm a commoner. It would have been scandalous. I did what I could to be worthy of you, but you never noticed. So, I've resigned myself to a lonesome life, my feelings unrequited.
See, the reason this is cringe is because there ain't no way Dorothy would have this change of heart. Ain't no way. Ain't no way for real, there ain't no way.
You found it so easy to give up on me? Truly? This war has changed my mind on a great many things, you know. I've given it all a lot of thought.
I like seeing you flustered, you know that? It makes joking with you so much more fun.
Joking?
Yes, joking. It used to be my job to pluck at people's heartstrings, remember? And I'm much better at it than you are. Admit it, sir.
Yo, fucking got him! Got him! Dude, I was about to say there's ain't no way. There ain't no way Dorothy is acting like this. Fucking got him.
But your words have cut straight through to my heart. And now I must tell you how I feel. I've always been charmed by you. I do not think I realized just how thoroughly until this moment.
You and I both know that doesn't matter. Not really. We can never get married.
Perhaps not now. I've not determined where I stand when it comes to marriage. But when this war is over, I will make a decision.
You will, huh? Gosh, I sure do hope I'm not already married by then.
Dorothea, for your own safety, I hope you are.
Oh, that's hardly a concern. No one you find could possibly compare to me.
Man, you know what'd be crazy is you can bring, like, people to the last map, right? Like, the map before the final things happen in the final map. You know, I'm just saying that there's space to bring Lawrence in the final map, and, like, you know, I'm just saying that if Lawrence ended up on the front of the battlefield, I don't know, that means that he doesn't have to get paired with anybody. Am I speaking the truth, or, you know? No! I would never kill Lawrence. That's ridiculous. Oh, what are you guys talking? Guys, I would never kill Lawrence because I can't. I could never kill Lawrence. Right? That's something I could never do that. I could never kill Lawrence. Lawrence will just find himself in a strategically unfavorable position where it's unfortunate that there's no divine pulses that can save him. That's not killing him. What are you talking about? I would never do something like that. I'm the flag bearer. I protect people. I would never. I would never strategize away from... Okay, I would never strategize away for Lorenz to suddenly disappear and not be in any of the marriage options. Also, like $50 doing that. No! Shit! No! Oh, man. Damn, so you're saying I have to keep him alive? Damn. He was staring down from heaven. He's lying. The fun of Lorenz is not to see him die, it's to see him alive so we can laugh at him. Yeah, I'm just saying that I don't think anybody wants a fate worse than death, which is having to be married to Lorenz. Okay. What else we got? There's Manuela.
Is that Professor Manuela? Her voice is every bit as fine as you might expect from the former leader of the Middle Franc troop. Oh, if it weren't for her drinking and her woefully inadequate manners, she would fit right in with high society. Wait a minute.
As my mind clings to desperate thoughts, here it comes, horsebow moon and summer's end.
That's my... Oh no. No, no, no!
All right.
Oh, Lawrence! I heard you shout. Are you okay?
She was singing his poetry. That's fucking based. That's so based.
The poem! My poem! Forget it, I said! I asked you for one thing!
So fucking based, dude.
And I told you it would be impossible for me to forget.
Certainly, I understand. But setting it to music, and now singing it?
Oh, yes. It makes for a beautiful song, doesn't it? I'm feeling so lonely and blue. My dearest has left. He has gone far away, and I'm here, all alone. And in my sadness, your poem, well, it became a song for me to sing. It brought me a moment of happiness.
I do not know who spurned you, but I assure you my poem has nothing to do with any such feelings. It is getting late. We should both turn in. I will take my leave now.
Oh, I understand. You're leaving me too. Why? Am I too old to matter?
No, I never said any such thing. Why, I am sure there are plenty of men who would prefer a mature woman such as yourself.
The age of 30 is in demand.
Mature, he says. I knew it. You're all the same, you know. No one sees the person behind the voice. They just see me older today than yesterday. They say, oh, look what happened to her. Nobody sees my frustration, my resignation to be forever alone. But you do. It's all right there in your poem.
Please, I assure you, my poem was not about that at all. It was actually about the ideal of nobility. The sentiment is that someday I know I will get what I want. There is no resignation in it, as you seem to be suggesting.
Lawrence. I was sure the poem was more about someone lamenting their frailty and the loneliness of time's passing. But that's not it at all, is it? This is the story of someone impatient to get ahead, who is afraid they'll never make it.
The speaker in the poem does lament his shortcomings. The road to reach his ideal is long. It is a trial, a test. If he can just find his way through it, he knows he can move forward. So I think you should try to move forward too. Because with a voice as talented as yours, how could you possibly fail?
I mean,
Lawrence,
okay.
Someday you should let me
All right.
sing this song in public. I think people who are battling through their own trials, they might find comfort in this. And I believe I'm the only one who can do your work justice.
Very well. You have my assent. On the condition that you do not attach my name to it. Now, permit me to retire for the night. I require ample rest to maintain an adequate level of polish, you know. I suppose, if my poem must be set to music, then it had best be done by such a talented singer.
I mean, okay, fine. Fine, okay. Okay, that was cute. Whatever. Okay. God damn it. Okay. Clara is not amused. You know, whatever.
Lysithia, it's no good for you to expose yourself to such strong sunlight.
Just don't go outside and touch grass, Lysithia. Just stop doing anything.
And a chill could steal upon you at any moment. You really ought to have worn a mantle. You have been running yourself absolutely ragged. Would you please consider taking some rest?
Stop telling me what the fuck to do.
Enough is enough. I am fully aware. Now, stop following me.
I'm only concerned for your health.
That's great and all, but I feel fine today, and I'm perfectly capable of caring for myself. I don't have time to take a rest. I'm overloaded with work, and I have less time than everyone else. I just want to do my own thing. Bring order to the Alliance, and put my parents' minds at ease.
No need to rush. How can you be so certain your lifespan is shortened anyway? I do not know who decided that, but consider me skeptical.
Sorry, Lorenz, you're a little too stupid for this one, but sure. Also, yeah, I guess, you know, Lysithea is pale as fuck. So, the sun do be a radiation source.
If you are healthy now, and if you take proper care of yourself, you ought to live just as long as anyone else.
That's all well and good, but those vitamin-packed sweets you brought tasted weird.
If you want a healthy body, then you need to start with what you eat.
You have a point, but those health sweets are gross.
Ain't no way Lorenz was bringing health sweets, dude. Man, fuck off with that shit.
I sent for the finest in wholesome, healthy treats for you. I asked only for the very sweetest.
That was pretty nice of you. I'm sorry, Lawrence. Thank you for being so thoughtful. Still, I don't need bushels and bushels of them. Gaining a ton of weight won't exactly lengthen my lifespan either.
I'm not gonna say it.
I mean, I like to be able to hang out with you as much as possible. And for as long as possible.
I'm just saying that if Lysithea was a little more caked up, I'm not saying it. Okay.
Truly? Oh, I'm so glad. I feel the same. Even in an otherwise perfect future, I still cannot see a happy life for myself without you in it. In fact, the more time we spend together, the more essential to me you become. So let us walk, side by side, toward a future together.
Yikes! Keep it down, will you?
Why are you flustered? What is there to be embarrassed about? You know I will always care for you.
Okay, noted. Will you just calm down already?
You need not worry about a thing. I will look after you no matter what may come. After all, the future of Fodlan rests upon my shoulders, does it not?
I won't give up on myself either. Thanks for caring, Lawrence.
And then she died to crest cancer. Lorenz, my man, solution to Lysithea's problem. Get swole. Hold up, muscular Lysithea. I like this support. War Master Lysithea. Oh god. Oh no, dude.
Dorothea? You look as if something's terribly wrong.
I do? Oh, nothing's wrong. Not really. I've just been thinking about the future. And what happens when the war is over.
And tell me, what is your vision of the future like?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I guess I don't know what to expect. In my life, I've met all sorts of people who've lived lots of different ways. So now I'm trying to figure out how I want to live. I'm free, unlike so many people. I have the ability to take control of my own fate. Like you.
Well...
Sorry, wait, hold on a second. Your assumption is that Manuela can take control of her own fate. If we... Listen. Manuela is... I'm just saying that maybe a little bit of Manuela's girl failure behavior is holding her back. That's all, that's it. And the alcohol's probably not helping.
I quit the opera to join the Officers' Academy as a professor. Then I joined this war because, well, I don't know. I'm hoping for an end to it. Peace for the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know where to draw the line in this one, but I don't know. Maybe the alcohol Alcohol, blah, blah. Maybe the alcoholism isn't helping.
Even though I took control of my own fate, I still haven't found the man of my dreams.
You'll find him. He's out there somewhere. You know, there is one thing I want for the future.
So, you've got a dream after all.
Well, it's a dream I've always had. You'll think this is silly, but I'd like to stand beside you.
I don't get it.
When you left the opera company, I took your place. I stood center stage and sang, and everyone cheered for me. I wish the cheers were for me and you. I wish we stood on that stage together.
That's what she meant. See, I was like, what did she mean by this? But no, it's just they wanted to sing together. Okay, got it.
I have to tell you something. The first time I saw you on stage, I felt you were the one I wanted to hear sing.
Oh.
I already had plans to leave the opera company, but when I met you, I knew I couldn't leave until I saw you take your rightful place. You're right, though. It would have been nice to stand beside you on stage, even just once.
Maybe we weren't together then, but we're together here, now. And in the future, maybe it won't be so bad if you never find that man of your dreams.
What do you mean by that?
You and me. I won't find a guy either. We can just be together.
Yeah? Uh-huh. Okay, so they were talking about a different stage. They weren't just talking about center stage. Okay, all right. I'm just saying it's you know, it's yeah, yeah, they don't have to find a neither of them have to find a guy. They can be in the same bed, same stage. They can perform in the same yes. Dorothea does swing both ways. Yeah, I mean, you know, just I'm just saying. Even as the girl famous singer, practically a celebrity, she finds someone, especially after war is over. I mean, probably. Isn't cleaning up her messy room after she's dumped every time wasted? Like, time that's wasted? I mean, it depends how you feel about girl stank.
I think that'd be pretty nice, don't you? Living together and doing whatever we want.
Huh. You know, that could be nice. It'd be like you and me, finally together on stage.
That's not what she means. That's not what she means. That's not what she means. So don't say it. That's not what she means. This isn't a state. This isn't a euphemism.
The lights shining down, our gowns and jewels sparkling. Just us.
Hey, that is the correct term, right? A mild or indirect word or expression substituted for one considering to be too harsh or blunt when referring to something unpleasant or embarrassing. Okay, so maybe that's the wrong thing. But, yeah.
Sparkling in the stage lights forever.
Yep, that was a support. Yep. They can sparkle together. They can shine bright.
Professor, a moment. I am sorry that I doubted your ability. I deeply regret ever holding such a view of you. It is obvious to me now that you are extraordinary. Do you doubt your own power, even now? I suppose that's only natural. You've lived your whole life knowing next to nothing about yourself. Not even Geralt could have possibly known all there is to know about you. But I wonder, are you satisfied with that?
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Are you content, not knowing who you are? Or do you yearn to know more?
Sure. I mean, wouldn't be terrible.
That was a foolish question, of course. You are not the sort to be complacent. So, only one more question matters. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
The truth. All of it. Learning it will doubtlessly have direct consequences on your life. I do not know what those will be. You may decide, once you learn it, that you wish you hadn't. But even if you have such regrets, you will never be able to return to ignorance. So, are you ready to know the truth?
Sure.
I see. That is what I wish to hear. Since the Archbishop put so much faith in you, I will continue to offer my aid. More than that, I will put my faith in you as well. And I will do all that is within my power to help you someday reach the truth.
Oh, I thought he was actually gonna say it's something, but he didn't. Okay. I understand. Yeah, but where's the truth? I want to know the truth. Tell me about the truth. Oh, she's not, maybe on the map somewhere. Seteth does have some great supports. His and Hilda's support is hilarious. Maybe we'll use Seteth next time. Because we want to, like, listen to his supports.
How about this?
Professor, please.
Let us run. Oh, wait. Random side characters?
I've got a bit of Dusker blood in me. Vargas is our ancestral enemy. But if that man is going to be the king, I don't see any harm in lending him my blade. I believe that we can forge a proud new kingdom. As you can tell, I'm expecting great things. I won't forgive you if you lose.
Well, I mean, you won't be able to. It won't matter because I'll be dead, so.
Attacking the capital means crossing swords with the Emperor herself. I hope you won't be caught unprepared. I've heard that she'll stop at nothing in the pursuit of victory. Be careful of that Hubert, too, the minister of the Imperial household. They say he's a cunning strategist.
Yep. I will be careful of Hubert.
Did you know a magnificent canal flows through downtown Enbar? It's said to have been constructed
The
under
fucking
the
guy
guidance
in
of
the
Saint
background, dude. I
before the
can't with
Empire
this
was
shit.
reformed.
Stop it. Dude, he's on his way. Me on my way to get groceries from the store. Me. What else can I be on my way to? Me on my way to go lift weights at the gym. Oh my god, he turned. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, Hubert is very cunning. That is correct. That's yes, I don't think I'm gonna I don't think I need to say that one. Is this the Catherine replacement unit for chapter 12? Which one? Oh, man at the start rightfully is scaring Hilda. He makes the mistake of telling her a story. She gets hooked on it and empathizing with the lazy character in a story. What? Oh, the Swordmaster? Oh. There's a reason the Church of Seros Battalion has the Stride Gambit. Me on my way to go activate the Stride Gambit. Oh, man.
Ever since, that canal has been a major lifeline for the capital's development. And now this is how the Empire repays it. Truly, no good deed goes unpunished.
Damn. This guy's fucking on his way somewhere, dude. He's got a mission. Me on my way to warp to the boss. Great. Poor man's stuck.
Professor.
He's Sigma grinding, dude.
I was trying to catch you off guard, but you managed to block it. Not too shabby, Professor.
That wasn't funny.
Oh, come on. Look at the blade I threw. It's just a wooden training sword. At worst, you could have gotten a bruise or perhaps a splinter. Let's agree it was funny and move on.
I mean, I give Catherine all... I allow her all rights for her to pull out her stick on me at any point in time. I could have died!
How? By by choking on it? Don't be so dramatic.
God, I wish that were me. Holy shit. God. Oh man, choking on Catherine's sword ain't no way. Fair, you know, fair. Alright, I'm gonna just... Yep, alright, okay, yep, okay.
Besides, I knew you'd dodge in time. I told you before that I was going to observe you. Since then, I've been watching you. I know what you're capable of. I took steps to make myself invisible, so I could observe you without being detected. I hardly let you out of my sight. After
That's a little
extensive
weird.
research, I've concluded that you really are first rate. Your sword skills are impeccable, you're a gifted educator, you clearly love working with the students. Someone with all of your exceptional qualities should not exist, but here you are. At first, I thought Gerald was the reason for Lady Rhea's interest in you. But no, Lady Rhea knew exactly what she was doing when she singled you out. Unfortunately, I can't hope to emulate you, let alone wield the sword of the Creator. So my plan of imitating you for Lady Rhea's attention has come to nothing.
So you're gonna stop stalking me?
Say that.
Oh, okay.
When we rescue Lady Rhea, I'll provide her a full report of your activities. Hopefully, then I'll be in her good graces. Oh, and don't think you can avoid being watched. I won't let you out of my sight.
Oh my god. Me just trying to get my S+ support with one of the characters. Catherine, who's like watching from behind a bush. Yo, Professor! Do you want some privacy, Professor? Because I'm not gonna give it to you. Yes. Oh, man. Okay, so I think we've done all of those. I don't think there's any purpose in any training or tea parties for me to do. So I don't know. I can, like, there's no teaching or anything, right? So that's why you S support her unless you have Petra? What the fuck? I don't know what to do with my last thing. Or with this thing, I suppose. Because there's no... It's like, I feel like I don't want to give Lorenz a meal. You know what I mean? I want to raise their support level.
This is...
I always make stat boosting food. Can I do it like... Can I make a bunch of stat boosting food? Or can you only do one? Have one active.
A little...
Food preparation ended for today. So you can only do it once. And only do it once. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's not really much to do except for whatever the actions are, and I can do those. Off stream once per day, so you can stack it multiple times in a month. I see. Fair. I guess if you explore multiple times in a month. But, yeah, that's gonna be it. That was the Yapathon. That we certainly did start at, like, 12:30, and then went... Oh, I guess it hasn't been that long, right? How do we do math? 3 hours and 45 minutes? I guess that's like a non-zero amount of time. Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, so that's gonna be it today. For y'all. And then I guess next time we're gonna totally not do the final battle. Totally, definitely not the final battle. Definitely, totally.
Hi.
Thank you for the head pat. I think it's Pat.
Let me
I don't know if it's Pat. I think it's Pat.
Hello.
I'm now expecting a head pat. There we go. There we go. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for that, Pat. Yes. So, that's gonna be it. We'll do the next battle tomorrow. So if you're still here, I'm gonna say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your support, as always, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Tomorrow we should be starting at the normal time.